All right, John, so here is your snatch. So let's start from the ground here. So as you're coming up, things are looking good. Hips are coming forwards, knees are extending. Okay, where things need to improve here is you need to start pulling this kettlebell into your body as opposed to straight up. And what I mean by that is if you look over here in my swing, as I'm extending, see how I've begun to pull, and I've already finished that movement. I'm pulling that elbow back, okay, what we call the high pull. All right, so that high pull is going to pull the kettlebell towards the body, and it's going to initiate the flip of the kettlebell. And that flip is important because as I begin to come up, you'll notice that the kettlebell is on my forearm now, and then I finish overhead. So it sort of floats onto the forearm. It's making contact with it now, okay? So I'm pulling and then I'm punching. I'm beginning my punch right there. Now, when you watch yours, you're straight arming it. And pull this down here. Let's see if I can get there we go. Okay, so you're straight arming it. So the straight arm, what it results in is the kettlebell hasn't flipped over yet. Your arm's overhead, and now it's flipping overhead. So in this position, when you go to swing, okay, if you don't have the high pull right here, not only is the kettlebell, well, let's look at step one here. You're now creating this huge arc to bring the kettlebell up, as opposed to keeping it really close to the body. So if you watch here, watch how close the kettlebell, I'm swinging, and although it's out like a normal swing, at this point here, I'm pulling it into the body, and it becomes less of this big parabolic curve and more of an upward motion. Okay, that's going to make it easier to land on the back of the wrist versus right here. You're death gripping the kettlebell and then bam, right onto the back, right? So you got to get that swing to high pull and that pull sooner, because right now you're straight arming it up. Kettlebell hasn't flipped, it's flipped now. Now it's banging onto the arms. As opposed to smaller. Okay, as I begin to swing it, you'll see it comes up and I'm extending the arm. It's already on the back of the wrist and then I'm extending. So if we just watch these two in slow-mo together, you'll be able to see, one more tip too, how I pull that up, okay, the elbow's bending versus your straight arm. Okay, the next thing, and I'll just go over this quickly, we talked about it briefly. Bring the kettlebell down to the shoulder. You sort of do it here, but see how it goes to the outside shoulder? You're on the outside. You want that kettlebell to come down here, all right? Versus, watch this, I bring it down. I'm inside the shoulder. It's sort of harder to see from this angle, but what I mean by that is the kettlebell is resting on my chest, not on the outside of the shoulder, okay? So when you do that, then if you watch here, I throw it back out. So it's like I'm at the top of the swing. It's easier to get back into it. This is going to give you more control, okay? And for getting into that next rep, into the swing, help you get into that high pull a little better. Versus here, you just sort of drop it down. And you're starting to hinge down. Like there's a few swing mechanics here that can be better. The kettlebell drops down and your body's already going with it. You want to be late. So watch my arm comes down and I'm hinging behind it. Okay, see I'm coming down as opposed to bending over as the kettlebell comes down. So anyways, tips from this. You want to go high pull. Okay, so you want to pull that elbow back to keep the kettlebell close to the body. This will allow you to flip and punch. And then just remember when you're coming back down that this kettlebell should be more over top of the chest. And then you want to push it out from the body so that you've got more control on the next swing.